Alright, you see we have here a lot of details, but you can just do that you're going to bake them layered above. But I have a little bit of a problem with that because it's doing some weird shading and texturing later on. So I just separate them, and it's wasting a lot of details, but a lot of space, but later on we haven't any problems with that. So we have to see if we just can lay that in one thing, but yeah, it's a lot of things going on here, and I don't really know if we can do that. Maybe if we have some further, maybe if we have some luck. Yeah, that's looking good. This main ring, I just want it big. Should pack it another time. Alright, I think we can leave that now. I hope we have enough space here. But if we haven't enough space, we're going to make another material. So don't forget to add it here in the ring. And this one is done. Last two, and then we are done with the laying, and we can go to Marmoset toolbag. Alright, we have a little bit of a problem here. We are wasting too much here on detail space. So I'm going just to separate them. I want the ring and the backside in one area, so we can just unwrap that. We can pack that. And this main ring, I just put them for now on the side, so we can pack these details for now. So I'm taking all, and now I can just pack them again. Okay, that's fine. And these details here, I'm going to put them in another material called details, and that's fine. Alright, do quickly the same thing for the detail here. Image texture, and that's good. Alright, take the whole thing here and just unwrap that. Sorry, every time the same error, pack that. So we are not wasting too much space for the main ring and the details we need. Alright, done this. So we have 3 of that, and we have to test it if it's working. So let me see. I'm going first of all to join the parts together that has to be together. So the parts that aren't movable. And it's important that you just join the things together that aren't in another material. So this main ring here is fine, you can leave that. We can join this here together because we have the inner ring here. So let's see. We have to go to the modifier tab and see that we have only our bevel modifier here, the rest we can just apply. So that's fine. I'm going to join this three together and let's pack that another time. Come on, I'm going to just separate the rings here because it's wasting a lot of space. Alright, so just unwrap this quick, rotate it, take all, pack it, and now we have used the space a little bit better. Alright, so we have here the bevel modifier, we have here the bevel modifier, in here the mirror modifier, so we have to apply that and just leave the bevel. Alright, select all and just pack them again. Alright, so I'm going to join them together now. This is the details, so that's fine. And we can totally call that in the way we have our materials here, so the details, the main ring, and the inner ring. So I just named the things here the same way I just renamed the materials, because after exporting it we are certain that we know which material slot is correspond to the actual object. If you want to move that later on in Substance Painter, we have to do a little bit of a change, but I think I'm going to do that later on. So for now I just want it static and not movable, and we are going to export it now. And yeah, after this tutorial series I'm going to show you how you can do that as a little bonus. Alright, so take all, go into edit mode, select all and press Command T to triangulate the whole stuff here. And now I can just export it, go to File, Export, FBX, or I have it in my quick favorites, so FBX is quicker. Alright, I have my FBX export here, so it's the only thing, so it's easier, it's faster. You have to select this limit to selectable object, and under geometry you have to go to face and sure that the apply modifiers is on. I'm navigating now to my save folder, and in here I have the folder assets, and I'm going to call this quick gate Milky Way. So you know, later on I will make a tutorial about the Stargate from Atlantis, so stay tuned, yeah. Don't forget to leave a like, yeah. Alright, so we have now exported them. I'm going to hide the low. I'm going to unhide the high, so not the ref, the high. And in here basically we have to do the same thing, go into edit mode, select all, and press Command T to triangulate the whole stuff here. It's going to load a little bit because it's a lot going on here. Now we can go back to object mode, go to File, Export, Export FBX, same thing here. So I just renamed it completely wrong, but that's okay. I'm going to call this gate Milky Way underscore high, and this one has to be underscore low, so I'm going to rename it quick. But first of all we have to ensure we have here selected object and geometry, apply modifiers, and click on export. Alright, after the exportation, if it's loading a lot, if it's loading long, If it's taking some time to export, that's totally normal because we have a lot of vertices here. So just take the time it has to be, and after the export you can go to Marmoset toolbag. In Marmoset toolbag we have just to take our high and our low and drag and drop it in here. So I have the high and the low. I'm dragging it in here. Good, I'm closing this here and this too, so we have only our two objects in here, and as you can see, it's beautiful. So the next step is to add our baker. So go to the spread icon, this is the new bake project. Click on that, and with our high, go to this high folder, go with the low in the low folder, and basically that's it. So we have to determine now how big our cage will be. So activate the high poly, and in our low poly you can determine the cage. This green stuff here is our cage. It's way too big. So first of all, auto bake, go to none, and on this max offset you can go down. But as you can see here, the cage is too small for this detail. So go up with that until it's completely in here. So that's why I just said earlier, don't extrude this area too much because it's going to be baked completely. Alright, so let's do a first test bake. So to do that, deactivate the high again, go to this bake group, go to this bake project. Under the bake project we have to change some settings here. The first thing is here the output. Go to these three dots, and on these three dots you can determine where to save the files. So I have here a Marmoset folder, and in the Marmoset folder I have the maps folder, and I'm going to save that. The name, you can just name it whatever you want. I'm going to call it Stargate Milky Way, and that's it. The data type, you can leave it as PSD or TGA, whatever you want. I'm going to take TGA, so later on I haven't any problems by exporting to Sketchweb or something else. Click on OK, and under the samples we'll go up to 16, and the next thing is very important. We need this texture sets. So for this texture sets, first of all, the master, go to 4K. I want 4K texture. And if you are going to activate that, you have the three materials that we created earlier. That's why it's important that you just rename the same thing, the same object as the material, so it's not confusing and so on. You have to activate that if you have textures that's laying over top of the other one. So as example, if I go to the low again and I'm selecting all here and go into the edit mode, you see we have a completely mess. So it's all layered on top of the other one. So to prevent some errors here, we have created the materials, and with that we can just go to the texture sets and separate them again and and bake them separately. So the next thing is under maps, go to configure, because we need some other maps. We need the normals, the normal object, we need the position, we need the curvature, we need the thickness, we need the ambient occlusion. We don't need the material ID. Good, that's it. Activate ambient occlusion down here, and the last thing you have to do is just to click on bake. But first, don't forget, save it, because it's a large file. If it's freezing or something like that, you're going to redo everything here. So save it and you're on the safe side. Alright, after saving, click on bake, and it's going to load a little bit, but after that we see us again. So the bake is done. You see nothing here changed. That's because you have to click on this preview and then the magic will happen. Ta-da! We have our baked maps and it's looking beautiful. It's looking beautiful. Usually I'm going now in here and searching for some errors, but yeah, it's looking good. The only thing is here, that's not really cool. It's too low poly, so we have to add them. This main ring is perfect. The details comes perfect. Yeah, we're going to change this area, so the areas with the actual details on. So down here we have some area that I think we have totally forgot that to make. We can do that quickly, and in here it's cool. It's really cool. All right, so let's make the area with the details a little bit bigger. So go back to the Blender, and in here we have to just select the areas in which we have the details going on. But first, I think I'm going to select them one by one. It's better. So let's see. All right, so unwrap it, rotate it, and oh, sorry. Yeah, it's really low. It's really small. So maybe just make it bigger like that. So we have here some areas too. Ah, okay, that's it. All right, on the back side, let's see on the back side if we have here some error. Yeah, it's the same down here. So just select the back side and make them a little bit bigger. So maybe in the same size as the front, so like that. And this here is perfect. It's really perfect, so we need the upper half here. And then we are done with that. Alright, so the next thing, yeah, just take all and pack them again. It's not gonna fit, but just scale it a little bit down, then it's gonna fit. Good. So we have to export only the low. So export them. Go back to Substance Painter after, go back to Marmoset tool after exporting, and it's going to load automatic. So the only thing you have to do is go back to the bake project, and in here click on bake again. Alright, so click on preview again, and we have here some mess going on, so we have just to see what's wrong here. Maybe if we just delete all again and bake it again. Alright, it's looking a little bit better. A little bit. So down here we have, yeah, it's still too low poly. I don't know why. So we have to make it a lot bigger. So yeah, just do it. So take the main ring, and we're going to make that bigger. I hope it will be yeah, baked a little bit better, but we see that after the bake. Oh, so maybe wait a second. Maybe we are going to just cut them in half, so you have smaller parts that we can just bake with less space. Alright, it's a little bit better. It's a little bit better. Yeah, it's coming a little bit more on the details. Good. I think we can just go to the next step. We haven't any errors so far, except from this here. So let's add quick these details in here. So we go back to our high poly where we have stored our details. So let's see, in here it's the back side that's wrong, the front is good, but we have just to adjust a little bit more here, the area. So simply go into the edit mode, and let's see if we just select, okay, we have our mirror modifier that's good. So I'm going to select all, but first I'm going to deactivate the bevel modifier because it's going to be very slow. So just duplicate the selection here and put them on the back side. So we're going to make a known separation of it, and with that I'm just go into let's see, I don't want it into here, so we have it only on one side, so we need it only on the back side. So I'm going to delete the mirror modifier, so we have it only on one side, and now we are going to just adjust the space here. So maybe I'm going to delete these big parts. I don't like them really. Now we can take all and just take it in the right place. So let's see. That's good. I think we are going to leave that like that. So just drag it back, and we have to adjust our rotation here. Yeah, it's not bad if we do it like that. So obviously we have just to delete here some unnecessary things. So just select them, and maybe we are going to close the area here so we don't have this big gap going on. So I think we are good if we stay like that. Oh, this side is completely gone, so I'm going to adjust that for a second. Alright, I think we have to check just for a second this side too. So we can just drag them a little bit out, and that's fine. Alright, I think I have the shading in the wrong way, so just recalculate outside. It's good, but we have some issue with the rotation. So let's see if that is going down. We need to close the gaps in here, so yeah, let's see, we have just to adjust that a little bit more. Alright, we have to export again our high poly, so just ensure that everything is okay in here. I'm going to check the face orientation for a second, but it's looking so far good. And now we have just to export it again as an FBX. Go to your export folder and just rewrite this file here, and that's good for now. And I see here our details on top aren't very good, so I think we have just to, yeah, I think we have to separate them. So maybe it's better, let's see if we, how we can do that. Maybe if we're just gonna go to make them a little bit smaller, just a bit, not too much. So we can take this area with the details here and make them a little bit bigger. Alright, retry it, so just export that. And now we have to bake them again. So let's see, go to the bake option, and in here we have our free materials, that's fine, and just hit bake. So we have here definitely some more work to do, but you know how it's working. So yeah, we have just to put them a little bit out, but yeah. For now we are going to the next stage here. Maybe in Substance Beta we have definitely to redo some UV layout, so we can just redo them then again. But now we can just go to Substance Painter and begin with the initial texturing. So in Substance Painter, the first step we are going to do is go to File, New, and on File, Select. So select your FBakes with the low, and on Imported Baked Maps, just click on Add. So we can add our marmoset maps we have baked. Just select all. Oh, we don't need the default, that's another thing. I'm going to delete them, but the rest, it's going to be matching with our materials. So just select them, open them, and we are good. So just take a time to load it, and after loading we can just go in here, and under texture set settings we can load our maps. So in here I'm in the material slot detail, so we have to just select the details here. So I'm going to type in detail, and we have the gate Milky Way details maps that we are just selecting here. So the normal is going into the normal, the normal object is going into the normal map here, the world space. So it's that one, the normal object. The ambient occlusion is going into the ambient occlusion. The curvature is going into the curvature. The thickness is going into the thickness. Oh, sorry, the thickness into thickness. And the position into the position. And that's it for the first detail here. So the inner ring, the same thing. So we have here the ring, and now the main ring. And the main ring is loaded in. Perfect. Now you see your work in Substance Painter. It's a little bit better here, but as you can see, we have still the problems with the details up here, and yeah, we have to fix it later on. But for now, it's looking very, very good. So we are going to begin with the main ring, with the inner ring, I think. So go to the inner ring. If you want to, you can just hide the rest of that, so you can just work with that. And in here we see another problem. If we just doing it unmovable, so the inner ring is not going to be moved. So you have the problem with the ambient occlusion that it's driving here some dark spots. If you want to move it, we have to separate it later on in Blender here. We have to separate the main ring from the rest and bake them separately from the other object. But for now, for this tutorial, we are going to make it unmovable. For the next tutorial, it's going to be a small tutorial series, so I can show you how you can fix this issue. Alright, so let's begin with our layers here. The first layer we can delete, and we're going to begin.